Hi, Elza.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How
Good.
about you?
I'm fine. Yeah, it's great to be here. You're playing the partita,
Yeah.
only the first movement?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Wonderful. Bravo. Very good. Very, very good. Bravo.
Thank you.
It's a difficult piece. This is only the first movement.
Yeah.
Yes. But bravo. Very good. Very good. Very good. So I have been playing this piece more now in recent years than I ever did when I was a student. I find it very this piece improves the more we study it.
Yeah.
Every time I find I learn this piece, it's like a new piece for me, you know, because I find something new and interesting and fresh about it. It's because it's such great music, you know, and it's a unique piece in the repertoire for the flute, to be written by Bach, you know, presumably for the flute. They attribute this piece to be for the flute. So the two main things. There are two things on the flute that we can that if we don't do these two things correctly, then the sound will not be right. First is breathing and posture, and then lips, tight lips. You see here, and the tightness of the lips comes from tightness here in the throat area. So you want to open for the throat area here when you breathe, and really, breathe like you would a singer would breathe. And then for the lips, you don't have to change your embouchure. Your sound is very beautiful, but you have it's just that they get tight. They get tight and then they squeeze, and then that's the problem. Okay, so you want to, because the lips are like this, you know, there's like you know, a puppet, you know, this glove puppet, you know, if you squeeze you can tell it's not much, you know, so you have to have the right amount of pressure, obviously, to make a sound, but not too much, because when you start to bite, then so let's try from beginning once more. And what we have to be aware of is this is written as a series of dance suites, as dance movements. So partita is always a Baroque dance form. Allemande is a rather slow dance in four. What we have to focus on is try not to disturb the flow of the music too much with the breath. So, in other words, to make the breathing, you see, if all of a sudden we stop to take the breath, and then the music kind of falls out of alignment. So you want to keep a kind of pulse, a steady pulse. Your tempo was very good. I find in Bach, you know, when he writes in 4/4, there's always a certain gravitation towards the third beat of the bar, the center of the bar. And I noticed because when I was playing here with Chicago Symphony, we did recordings of the Brandenburg concerti of the in December, and you know, it's always the music gravitates from the first beat to the third beat always. Articulation should not be too hard. Ta 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 ta. Try to make the articulation as sort of soft as you can, or
Mm-hmm.
like you would hear a Baroque flute, you know, very, very, very gentle. Want to try from beginning once more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. It's very good. Can can you try just ever so slightly blow down a little bit more into the flute? It's just see what I mean? It's just the airstream. You see, when we blow out, if you blow straight out, then you get that. If you lower slightly, you see, if you put your hand in front of your mouth, see how you can move the airstream up and down. Yeah. This is an exaggerated version of really what is happening here. So you want, if we move up and down, there's a certain spot that is absolutely correct for the flute.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe for you, you have to blow down slightly, a little bit more, huh? Especially also for the lower notes. Can we try again from beginning? The breathing, I have gone through many different ways of breathing. I have found before bar 5, da di da 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 di da 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 di da di dum, di da da di da 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 di dum. To breathe there kind of gives a little bit more of a. It helps the flow a little bit of the pulse and also of the harmony,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because essentially, you know, this is all. It's harmonic progression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we have to kind of accommodate the cadences into different keys. You see,
Yeah.
a breathe where is logical
Mm-hmm.
according to a harmony. So, okay, once more from beginning. Yeah, that's too. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So the dee da dee da dum, dee da 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 dee da da dum. So to breathe, this it's a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to find a way to breathe so it doesn't get in the way of the flow of the music. So maybe you can slow down a little bit. You see, by slowing down a little bit before and then taking the breath, that it helps the conceal
Mm-hmm.
the breath in a way,
Yeah.
you know. Because if we go dee da dum, dee da da dum, it's not quite, because we are in a dense flow still.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a pulse, and there's a rhythm. Dee da da dee da da dum, da dee da dum. It's an upbeat. It's very important to notice how the piece starts.
Mm-hmm.
Di da 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 dee da di da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. You see, if you were just to say the pulse without the notes, you would maybe feel a little bit more comfortable. Da dee da dee da 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 dee da. See, it kind of, although it's in 4, we are thinking in almost in 2. You see, there has to be a pulse because it's a dance. You see,
Yeah.
it's a Baroque dance. Although people did not dance to this, you know, nobody would dance to this. Okay, I haven't seen it. Actually, you know what? No, I am wrong. I did once a very interesting thing, a performance of a ballet. It was one dancer and one flute playing this piece, the partita, and then the saraband, allemande and the saraband. These 2 movements. I played with the dancer. It was very interesting. There was like a choreography by a famous ballet dancer now. I can't remember his name. Benjamin Millepied, his name is. And it was very interesting when I was playing it, because with the ballet it worked really well. Because it's in Bach, the ballet wouldn't have been possible, but nowadays it's possible. So it created an entirely different view for me, because there has to be some flow. There is always this flow, and a gravitational flow. You see, the music has gravity, and we have to follow the gravity of the music. Huh? You see. So that really opened my eyes to that. So I think Bach wrote this dance things for the listener to imagine dance, or to have an image of dance. Yeah. So how are we going to do that? And we have to breathe, and we have to do all these things. So we have to be clever and breathe in a way that doesn't disturb the flow of the music. Now let's take from beginning once more. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Yeah, you're getting sort of more of a feeling for it.
Yeah.
The more you can relax the jaw here, and maybe not press. If you can, think more of ho, more of an o vowel inside when you play. You see, o and u is very good vowels to use for flute playing. Because you know when you're stiff, it's here. It creates tension in the lips, and it creates tension in the breathing. So jaw has to be relaxed and open. Yeah, it's very good. Okay. What we also have to think about. This is another thing. It's typical for a long 16th note passage in Baroque music to be a little bit unequal, the notes, meaning in with da di da da di da da di da 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 di da da di. So they're not quite da di da 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 di da 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 di da da di da da di da 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 di da da di da 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 di da 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 di di. So that's important also to kind of. That also keeps the rhythm flowing. I think. It helps kind of loosen up a little bit, you know.
Okay.
And so on.
Mhm.
So there is just this kind of this gentle flow of music, you see, and you can make space for breathing, but you make the space by borrowing a little bit of time. You borrow, like you borrow money, and you pay it back in the next bar.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Arthur Rubinstein's pianist was very famous for this particular quote. He was explaining rubato to someone. Rubato is you borrow, like borrowing money. You have to pay it back.
Okay.
So dee da 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 dee da dee da da dee da 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 dee da da. Pay back here. You see,
Mhm.
no, have to move it along. You see. Okay, very good. From beginning once more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's getting there. I still think your articulation can be a little bit longer. The notes can be longer, a little bit.
Mhm.
Mm? And then I like to breathe there.
Okay.
It's just because it kind of helps the rhythmical flow a little bit. Da da dee da da dee da da dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. Because also it connects the phrasing a little bit. The dee da 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 dee da dum ba da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da dum. This kind of harmonic progression
Mhm.
is it supports the harmonic progression a little bit
Yeah.
better there.
Mhm.
Okay, so a little bit longer the notes, a tiny bit longer. Da dee da 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 da. Can you take from bar 9 the C major?
Mhm.
Yeah. So also where we're gonna breathe here, that's the other question. You know,
Mhm.
like to slur 3 notes. Dia, da 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 di dia. I like to breathe there. You can breathe. You can basically find some tasteful way to breathe. I found it more logical to breathe there for some reason.
Okay.
But you can also breathe here. And then you can breathe here if you want. I mean, just as long as it doesn't disturb the musical flow or the kind of, the harmonic progression that you're in.
Yeah.
You can find tasteful ways to breathe. Okay, that's the main thing. Let's take from the part 12. Yeah,
Like that?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Okay.
I still think I still want you to just find the sound a little bit. You can. Yeah, if you can connect the sound. So. Yes, yeah. You see, when you blow further down, when you connect with the embouchure hole more with your lips, and this part, then you have control.
Mm-hmm.
You see, what you want on the flute is control. With blowing over too much, you lose control. So you want to really make sure I think you're a tiny bit too sharp. You might want to pull out the head joint. I mean, I think where are you? 442 in Latvia, or?
Yeah, but it's
440.
very warm in this room, so maybe it's too sharp because of that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but also I think you could pull out a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, let's go on. From E minor. Yeah, this is the other place. This is the other place where I would breathe. It sounds a little bit like it makes more sense.
Okay.
So, one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good, very good, very good. Now, the other thing about this movement is we really have to be mindful of the shape, where how we have to shape these arpeggios in like musical terms, so it doesn't all sound da 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 dee da da, the whole movement. So where do we bring the music down? Like where can we bring the music to a suspension point? Like less, so we can build. You see, it's built into the harmony. It's built into the harmonic structure. So dynamics are not written in. Dynamics for sure. We have to add those. We're responsible for creating the putting the dynamics in according to the musical flow, so that it makes sense for the listener. Because a listener and someone who doesn't know this piece doesn't know it looks like this. We are the only ones that know how it looks like. It looks very funny, da 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 da, Yeah. But for someone who doesn't know it, we have to explain it. We have to play it in a way that makes sense. You see what I mean? So, for example, in part 25, we have to really bring the music down, so we can dynamic down, so we can build. So you see what I mean? So Bach is constantly writing music that is shifting harmonically. It takes different shapes, it goes into a different key, but then instead of going to the home key, he goes to something else, goes to another key, and modulates differently, because this was his, he wrote, it's like endless, he wrote for eternity. He just kept, creating these harmonic suspensions and finding different ways to suspend the musical drama. This was drama back then, and he was a master of this, because, for example, you take a Brandenburg concerto's like first movement, it is enormous. It goes on and on and on and on and on, and it's never boring, because he keeps shifting, takes the listener somewhere else to a different key, and then suspends it. So we have to play according to this drama of harmony. It's a drama of harmony, because there's no dynamics. There's no right dynamic. There's no tempo marking. You see? So we have to, with Bach, we have to study so much. We have to, as I say for myself, I understand this piece better and better every time I have been playing it. I used to be scared of playing this piece, because it was just, it's a lot, And we have only one line. We cannot play harmony, we cannot play double stops, so we are in a way, have to think even harder. We are in charge of the harmonic progression. Okay. So this is important. We have to shape. So in bar 25, bring the dynamic down. Okay. Take from the repeat sign, the E minor section. Da 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 dee, da 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 da. It's very good. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Remember to keep the notes long. If you think just of lengthening the notes a little bit, then there's more harmony.
Yeah, yeah.
When we start da 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 da. Yeah, can you take from da 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 da? Do you have numbers? 31. Da 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 da. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's just why it breaks up. The sound sometimes cracks.
Yeah.
It's because there's not enough support from
Okay.
the lower diaphragm. The breathing is a little off, and also you're not blowing down enough into the instrument. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also just experiment a little bit with the jaw in particular. If you can open here, and I think it might help also with the lips being tight.
Yeah.
You see, that's because once the jaw stiffens, then you stiff here, and then you start to kind of overblow. You really want to open here, open down here, and find the sound like that. It's just a tiny little shift. The slurs, let's talk about slurs a little bit. I mean, in Baroque music in general, I think the slurs are, we try not to slur too much. Like groups of notes, we try to slur maybe a little bit at a time, so it doesn't sound like the music needs a certain kind of clarity. For example, bar 31. I don't think this whole movement was meant to be tongued back in Bach's days. You know, I don't think we have to add the slurs. We have to do so very tastefully. So, for me, dee da 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 dee da dum dee da 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 da. So like the second beat. So, but only the first slur 3 notes and then tongue 1.
Okay.
You can even this is a little bit I know the idea behind this. It can work. But you have to separate the so it doesn't sound like all of a sudden out of nowhere. So you can slur there too. And then so on.
Mhm.
Yeah, da da dia, da da dia. It can be done.
Mhm.
There's no nowhere that says I don't personally do it, but you know, there's if it's tasteful, it's okay. You know,
Mhm.
if it's makes sense, if it's not too blurry, it has to be
Mhm.
clear. So tongue to slur to is can be done in Baroque music. Da da dia, da da dia. Um, the main thing is to use your taste, musical taste, in slurring.
Mhm.
What makes sense? You see, we have to think about it when we play, when we see, because in those days, no slurs were ever written, as we know. So performers, the composers knew the performers automatically knew how to slur.
Yeah.
That's the and now we are with a different instrument. We don't have this technique. We're not in that time, so we are left with our sweaty head trying to figure out where to slur. But there's a book, the the Quantz book. Do you know this Johann Joachim Quantz?
Mhm.
A very important book. It explains about slurs very well, and everyone should read this book.
Mhm.
So, slurring 3, tonguing 1, or in some cases tongue 1, slur 3 is good, or you can slur da da daha, da da daha. Sometimes, um, where is tasteful.
Yeah.
So, um, good. Now let's take from 31 again. Da 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 dee ha da 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 dee da dum. Yeah, that was a little too. That gap was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Da dee da da dum. Try to avoid. Try to keep the music always flowing forward,
Mhm.
always going. If you stop to take the breath, it's kind of
Yeah.
doesn't work. So da 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 dum dee da da dum. I like to take a breath there before the.
Mhm.
Something like that. This is sort of, and you might change your mind in a year from now
Mhm.
about how to do this, because I keep changing my mind also. There's many ways of doing it, but you have to keep the flow forward, and don't let the breathing get in the way.
Mhm.
Make space for the breath.
Mhm.
So da 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 dum, dee da da dee da 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 dee. Okay, bar 31 again, please. Yeah, it is very good, very good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you
Mhm.
see? You have question? Some question?
Well, I think the main problem for me is just to find, not to find, but to incorporate, like, for the breathing, not to stop the pulse and the rhythm
Yeah.
and the flow.
Exactly. Well, that's
So-
this is the whole, that's the whole dilemma with this this opening. The rest of the piece is fine. The Courant, the first two movements of this is challenging,
Mhm.
but we have to make space, create space. So, I think this Allemande should not be played too fast,
Mhm.
because that also helps create space.
Mhm.
There's a correlation between the tempo of the first movement and the second movement.
Yeah.
The Courant is half as fast
Mhm.
as the tempo of the first one.
Mhm.
So, bim pararam pararam pam bim pam pam bim. Can really take your time,
Mhm.
Don't think you are in a rush. It's and keep the notes a little bit longer. The shorter the notes, the less music.
Mhm. Yeah.
See, that's the less music you get. That's one conductor told me once. I never forget those. It was the shorter the notes, the less music. So unless you're playing Stravinsky, of course. So yes, the high note, the end of the end, not too loud.
Mhm.
The end note. High notes in Bach should always be gentle.
Okay.
With this gentleness, never bam too loud. Let's just try the end once more. Let's take from da dee da dum dee dee da 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 dim da da dee da dee dum, bar 38. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I find it helps to use the the earbud, huh?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. For the high A, sometimes I put down the C sharp for the
Uh-huh.
high A.
Okay.
Do you know? If you
Mhm.
if you play normal high A and just a C sharp, it lifts the notes slightly, yeah. But piano.
Okay.
Yeah, to play piano. Yeah. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. So for the high notes in particular, you need to open and you need a lot of air inside to support the air stream.
Mhm.
And for high notes, you have to blow slightly up, not so much down.
Mhm.
But the lips should not be too tight. Yeah. So, but what really helps is to open here, for the throat and for here. And I was also talking about the posture, to roll back your shoulders a little bit, so you can, yeah. This is important. As I said, to play with tension anywhere, whether it's jaw, lips, hands, it all affects the sound. It affects the sound very in a way that we don't want. So when we practice, we have to practice with a mindfulness of these things. Find if you are tense anywhere. Think, listen to your body. Find where the tension is, and breathe into that, relax that part, or try to figure out how to. Most of the time it's because we are hunched over like this. So you can take a step back and roll back your shoulders and then, yeah, exactly. So, good. Well, it's a pleasure hearing you. Did you want to play something else, or?
No, I think
Just the first one.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Bravo. Thank you. Very good. Good to hear you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.